Hi, I'm Ree from mummyoffour.com. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a get it all done with me video for you. It is a weekend, so I have all 4 children home. We have got a lot of stuff to do, haven't we? We've got to do some cleaning, we've got to do some decluttering. Where did you find that hat? We've got to get organised for the week. We have got laundry to do, we've got beds to change, we've got a whole list of stuff, and I've got some work to do too, as well as, you know, meal prepping and planning and all the things. All the things. So hopefully you will find this interesting and motivating is kind of the hope. So before we get on with our day, we have to say, if you are new here, welcome. Please
subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we post more videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday at 7 PM.
Thank you, girlies. Shall we go and start by having breakfast?
Yeah!
We are on our way down for breakfast this morning. The children are having some cereal as well as some fruit, and this morning's fruit is apple. I always tend to slice up the apple and pop it in a bowl on the table for them to enjoy. They tend to eat a lot more if I slice it up like this. I am actually having an Exanti bar. I did work with this company about a year ago and I've bought them and I've eaten them every day ever since. They are great. I will link them below, my other videos and why I eat them and things, because I find they just keep me fuller for longer. Next on my list is to go over my list. I write out lists of things I have to do every day. These can be work things or they can be more home things. It's just everything that has to happen through the day. And these are things that really have to be achieved, not kind of pie in the sky, I'd like to get this done, but stuff that has to happen before I go to bed that night. So I've got like an ongoing list of ongoing tasks that I'm kind of working on, but the things I write in this list really have to happen. No excuses, no procrastinating. My next job while the children are having breakfast is to tidy up the lounge from the night before when my husband and I have been sitting and just everything hadn't been put away before we went to bed. I'm folding up the blanket. I always like to have a nice snuggly blanket on the sofa, but that needs to go away, and just straightening up the cushions, straightening up the rug. And one of my jobs for today that I wrote on my list is to fill these boxes. I have phoned the Welsh Air Ambulance who are doing a collection. They are picking things up to go and sell in their shops. So that has really given me kind of an end date. They're coming to collect very soon, in a couple of days' time. So I really need to get organised. It's really given me a kick at the bottom that I've needed to declutter and get stuff sorted. Next job, laundry. Must start the day with getting laundry on. The only way to stay on top of it is to put on at least one load every day. If you make one habit to sort of help you stay on top of your housework, make it this, because even if you just put the laundry on and then do nothing else, it's happening, isn't it? The laundry is happening and working even if you are not. I'm putting in a reusable colour catcher. You are supposed to fill in this thing on the side of the box and tick them off as you wash. I don't. I just kind of take them out of circulation when they get darker, and I'm using them as like cleaning cloths then when they're too dark to use as colour catchers. I'm using a capful of the Method laundry detergent and a capful of the Method laundry fabric softener. I use an old cap from an old bottle to fill it up, and then I shove the whole cap in the machine, which sort of cleans off the detergent, and then I can still keep nice clean caps on the ones I'm actually using. Now to sort some more laundry and just tidy up the laundry room a little bit more, and to take out the drying that was in last night. I am using these dryer eggs that you just got a very short glimpse of, and those are just, they help speed up the drying a little bit. There's not any actual drying to put in this. Well, there is a little bit. There's not enough to fill a whole load of the tumble dryer, so I'm going to wait until some more stuff has come out of the washing machine before putting a drying load on. Next is to sort all this stuff from the tumble dryer that had come out of the tumble dryer and that is dry into these boxes. You can see those black boxes next to me. Each family member has a box. As the stuff comes out of the dryer, it belongs to them, it gets put into there, and then when the box is full, it gets given to said family member, and they are to put away their own things. You can see here I'm rolling up these purple things. These are bibs that I put on over the girls' dresses. If we've gone out for a nice meal or something and they're wearing a really nice dress, I don't want them to get sauce and things all over themselves. I do stick a bib on them still, even though they are 3 and 5. It does help to keep their clothes nice. And now we're going to attempt some yoga. Now, what I tend to do is put Cosmic Kids Yoga. It's a YouTube channel, it's a free channel, and it's brilliant. It's a girl called Jamie, I think it is. There she is, doing the Frozen yoga. And she does all this like really cool kiddie themed yoga. The children do it in school quite often. If you ask your children, I bet they've done it in school. Anyway, I put that on for them. The idea is they copy the Cosmic Kids Yoga, and I can do a couple of sun salutations just to stretch and just feel a little bit more human, I guess. When I grew up, I did a lot of dancing, so I'm sort of used to, before having all these children, feeling sort of more flexible, I think. And I feel like if I've had a really good stretch, I do feel better and kind of more ready for the day. Now, as you can see, it's quite difficult to get any proper yoga done with the children climbing all over me, but this is better than nothing. You know, this really is, if this is as good as it gets, this is the closest I can get to exercise, I'll take it. And the idea is I'm supposed to do this every morning. In practice, it doesn't happen every single morning, but every morning I can actually get a little bit of stretching yoga done, then you know, it feels good. So if you can squeeze it in, I think the moral of the story is, if as a mum you can squeeze in any form of exercise around your children, do it. I mean, the other thing we do is obviously try and fit in as much walking as possible, walking, you know, back and forth school and things. There are so many great YouTube channels that specialise in yoga, so go and check those out. And it's just a really good example to set for your children, isn't it? Just sort of modelling healthy habits when you can. Now we have finished our yoga, we're going to head upstairs to get ready for the day. Now I need to have a shower. I'm not going to wash my hair, I'm just going to scrape up my hair, which is full of dry shampoo, into a mum bun and pin my fringe out of the way. And I'm going to take the girls into the bathroom with me, and I am going to give them an iPad. So every time to give the children an iPad, it's when you need to have a shower. So I shut them in the bathroom with me so I know they're not getting up to any mischief and not hurting themselves or anything. And then I can get ready in reasonable pace. I am going to do the world's most basic kind of makeup. I'm going to put on some moisturiser. My skin is so dry that if I don't put on moisturiser, almost as soon as I get out the shower, I feel like it's peeling off. I'm going to use just a tiny bit of BB cream and some of this MAC sort of stuff that makes your skin look a bit more glowy. I will link these products below, and I'm just going to rub that in with a brush, and then I'm going to use a teensy weensy bit of bronzer just to give my cheeks some colour, a little bit of something about my face. And then I'm also going to use a teensy weensy bit of blusher. It's called Blush Baby, I think is the colour, from MAC. I always buy MAC makeup when I have like birthday money and stuff. It's not cheap stuff, but I really like it. And I'm just going to I'm going to comb my eyelashes. I'm going to comb my eyelashes because I have eyelash extensions done every few weeks, because it saves time on getting ready in the mornings. Then I'm going to straighten my hair, and while I'm straightening my hair, I'm noticing how disgustingly dusty my mirror is. Oh yuck, that's not cool at all. I think that's going to need a little bit of a wipe over. That's going to be added to my list. I know I've got to change the bed and do some other bits in my room, but now I have noticed the mirror needs dusting. So I'm going to stick on some perfume or spray on neck and put on my bracelets that I always wear. And then I'm going to have a little dust round. I'm going to use this fluffy duster and dust this disgustingly dusty dressing table that I was just rather ashamed to notice while I was straightening my hair. So having these things to hand, I think, is the key. I keep fluffy dusters and cleaning products and things upstairs and downstairs, so when inspiration strikes, like now, like, oh yikes, I've just noticed how dusty this is, I can squeeze in a quick 5-minute whip around. I've opened the windows and I'm going to change the bed. I do feel like it's nice to open the windows when you're cleaning, especially when you're changing beds and things, just to get a bit of air about the place. I don't know if it's just in my head, it's totally psychological. But one very important thing I always do every time I take the bedding off is to re-button or pop it back up before putting it in the machine. It means pillowcases do not get lost inside the massive duvet cover, because there is nothing more of a pain than that. By the way, this is quite a big bed. It's a super king size bed. Does anyone else find changing a bed like a little mini workout, or is that just me? Because, you know, it's blooming exhausting, isn't it, changing the bed? Anyway, that aside, clearly I'm horribly unfit. I'm not bothering to change the under sheet thing. What's it called? Mattress Protect. I don't change that every time. I have got 2 different ones, but I sort of change it, I don't know, every other time. And I change all the other sheets on top. As you saw then, I do keep all of the sheets that are clean folded up inside a pillowcase. Now I know some people are really, really good and like iron all their bedding and full confession, I do not iron my bedding because I don't have time in my life for that. I do fold it neatly and I put it inside one pillowcase, and then it's all kept easily together inside the airing cupboard so I can grab it and I know there's a complete set in there. So that is a really good tip. But let me know in the comments, do you iron bedding? Are you just that good? Or do you not iron bedding and you're like me and your team, I don't have time for that in my life? Because I don't have time for that in my life. I wish I did. I wish I had enough time to iron bedding, or perhaps I had the desire to iron bedding, but I have no desire to iron bedding, so I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Anyway, I'm going to do the pillows first. I've done the bottom sheet. I'm going to do the pillows. Zara, you can see, has managed to get dressed as Princess Anna. Quite often, the girls decide that they would much rather wear dressing up clothes in the house than anything else. And do you know what? Pick your battles. I'm quite happy. If she wants to wear, you know, her Anna clothes, so be it. If she's happy, I'm happy. So I've now got to unbutton the duvet cover, because obviously I buttoned it up to put it in the wash, and then pop the duvet back inside it. We've actually got a super lightweight one. I think this is like 3 or 5 tog or something. Can you even get a 3? I don't know, maybe 2.5. It's a really, really lightweight duvet. I don't know, because we're having a new bed soon in our new house, so I will have to buy new bedding for it that fits it. I don't know if those pillows, because they're sort of bigger pillows, this is a super king size bed and we're buying a king size bed, so I don't know whether to get like normal size pillows or if those pillows will fit on a king size bed. Not sure, guess I need to measure. Anyway, as that aside, that's the bed pretty much done. Okay, it is a little bit creased, but you know, I'm not gonna lose sleep. Now to go through the list, see what I have already ticked off, add things on that have come to me while I was in the shower, and just really stay on top of it by making sure I know what needs to be done and where I am with it, seeing what I have achieved and what's left to do. And I think the only way I can get everything done is by sort of continually checking in throughout the day to think, okay, I've done this much, I've missed these bits, and knowing what's left to fit in before I get to go to sleep for the night. By the way, I absolutely hate messes in my planner, and since discovering erasable pens a year or so ago, it's changed my life. I shall link them below, they're amazing. They'll change your life too. Now I'm back downstairs and it's time to take the load out of the machine that I put in earlier so that that can be dried and the next load can go on. Now, I know it's so easy to put a load in the machine and then leave it there for so long that you're going to have to very much wash it again because it's gone all icky, but do try and remember, maybe set an alarm or something just to remind you to go and get it out and shove it in the dryer or hang it up or whatever needs to be done. I'm actually going to wash the bedding and I'm going to use the Vanish Make It White, I think that's not what it's called, the Vanish Oxy Action White, like a whitening boost powder. I'm going to shove some of that in, and then I'm going to use my method again, some detergent and some softener too, and the little cap is going in so it's degunked, and then the stuff that's come out of the machine is going into the dryer. And do not forget to defluff the fluff catcher thingy. Now my fluff catcher thingy is looking so gross that I'm actually going to get my little Dyson handheld and just suck up all the bits that don't come out by hand. This does need doing every now and again, and also I'm going to stick the Dyson sort of around the edge and just get all the bits of fluff that accumulate all around the dryer. And don't do what I did there, which is forget to put the fluff catcher thingy back in the dryer. Don't do that. While I got the Dyson in my hand, this was not on my list, but it's in my hand, so I'm just going to go around the edges and pick up all the bits of fluff that have gone all over my laundry room. Now we are back upstairs and I'm going to deal with the stuff that is not tumble dryable. Now I've said this before in my laundry routine, if you tumble dry most of the clothes, that like the tops and things, anything you want to keep nice, if you put it in the tumble dryer, it's not going to stay nice very long. So I only really tumble dry pyjamas, knickers and like underwear that is not bras, socks and school uniform, stuff that's really quite hard wearing. Things like tops and dresses and things I hang up in this airing cupboard. So this is just an airing cupboard with the hot water tank in it, so it stays nice and warm in there, and there's a rail on there, and all the stuff that doesn't go in the tumble dryer gets hung up in there. And then when it's dry, as long as it's sort of been hung in a nice shape, if that makes sense, on the hanger, then most of it's barely creased and can be hung up straight into the wardrobe. Now I forgot to do this earlier. I normally do it when I get out of the shower straight away. I just spritz the shower with some Method post shower daily cleaner, which stops the buildup of gunk. Now I am sorting all the dry stuff that has come out of the airing cupboard and getting it ready to go where it needs to go. Now most of this stuff appears to be mine. Now I do have a lot of these vest tops and I do hang them 2 on 1 hanger if they're the same colour. I do like to hang up my clothes in colour order. I personally find I can find things well that way, and I do find it works well for my brain. I think if it's hung up in rainbow order, it makes me happy. And then, you know, who doesn't want to be happy when they're choosing their clothes? I want to be happy. So hanging all those things up, folding away the leggings and the jeans into the drawers, and then it is time to do the swimming kit. Now I put the swimming kit, rather than into their rooms, I fold it straight back into the bag when it comes out of the wash. I put a onesie for each of them. Into the onesie go socks and pants, and then I roll up the onesie into these little kind of onesie bundles. There you go, Zara's just gone to fetch me some socks for hers. And then when they get out of the pool, I hand them the onesie bundle and they put that on. It's super easy for them to get dressed. It's the only way we can kind of manage it with any form of ease. And I'm going to fold the towels in Marie Kondo style into thirds and into little triangle-y parsley thingies. So KonMari all the way. Obviously, since I learned how to KonMari fold, I just wouldn't contemplate doing anything else because I love it. Love it. As you can see, Bella is dressed as Elsa and Zara's dressed as Anna, and as I said before, that's what makes them happy. I'm happy. Now I'm going to fold some more towels. These are just towels that had been from downstairs in the laundry room, and they've been brought up as far as my room. They had not been folded and put away yet, so that I'm folding them nicely so they can go away into the airing cupboard. And I fold those and pop them straight into sort of baskets, and they go into the cupboard. And I'm just checking Bella's ballet kit, something else I do on the weekend. Just make sure that everything for the week is ready. Next job, we're on to decluttering. So these units up here have not been looked at. The contents of this stuff has barely been looked at for, I'd say, 4 years. So therefore, if we haven't looked at it for 4 years, it needs to be sorted and it needs to be gone. So I'm carrying these boxes downstairs one at a time because they're blinking heavy, and I'm going to sort them out, and anything that we really don't need is going to be donated in those boxes by the front door to the Welsh Air Ambulance. Like I said before, it's a really, really valuable charity, and not only is it sort of a charity that I think is worthwhile to support, they are doing me a massive favour by coming to collect things too. So look into if someone does this in your area, choose a charity that you feel, you know, is valuable, and if they're able to take away some stuff and it means you can have a really good declutter too, then it's win-win. And I can't tell you how motivating it's been to have a date, like this stuff, I've been meaning to declutter this stuff for ages, but then I phoned and I booked it, and I've got these people coming in a couple of days' time at a set time, and I've got to do this. I've got to do it, and I'm really glad that I've been made to do it, and that having this deadline imposed upon me is the only way it was ever going to get done. Now, another area of this upper landing that needs decluttering are these boxes. These are kind of where the children's keepsakes are kept. I have bought these boxes to sort them into, but that's probably going to have to wait for another day. Now I've managed to carry all the stuff that does need sorting and decluttering downstairs, and now it's time to make the children lunch, so I'll have to deal with that after lunch. Now, lunches in our house tend to be kind of like a buffet, ploughmansy type scenario. They tend to have one hot meal and one cold meal, and lunch tends to be the cold meal if they're all home, and for their cold meal they get bread, cheese, ham, generally maybe some crisps or crackers, and fruit, and generally carrot sticks. While the children are eating, I'm going to chop up some dinner to go into the slow cooker. I'm doing chicken fajitas, so I'm chopping up the peppers. Every time you see me kind of jump out of shot, it's just rinse the pepper before I chop it up. So I'm chopping up the peppers just into pieces and popping them all in the slow cooker. I'm also adding an onion and a red onion and some tomatoes which need using up, so I'm chopping them, sort of dicing them up. You could just use a can of chopped tomatoes as well if you didn't have fresh ones, but I do feel that in the slow cooker I do tend to sort of add a few more bits and pieces, and I add whatever to fajitas, whatever needs doing, to be honest, because if something needs using up and it's vegetables, it can go in. So we've had baby corn before now, or mange tout, whatever needs using. I use the fajita the spices, and I just use a little tiny amount of the from the packet, to be honest, because if I use the whole packet like it says you're supposed to, the children would say it's too hot. So that's chicken added, and then the slow cooker lid is on, and that is cooking away while I'm doing things. So now I'm going to just have a little clear up while the children finish their food, a little bit of a wipe down of the units. I'm using my Method pink grapefruit spray, which I love. It smells so good. It makes the whole kitchen smell amazing. Just wiping up the mess I've made, really, and giving the sink a bit of a wipe round too, because who doesn't love a shiny sink? It does make me happy. If the kitchen smells good and the surfaces are clear and the sink is clean, I feel like I'm kind of winning at life. My next job is to go hunting around the kitchen cupboards for things to declutter and donate to the Welsh Air Ambulance. So I found all these appliances that have been hidden in the back of the cupboard and not used at all, really. I'm going to have to give them a wipe over because I can't possibly donate them covered in, you know, cupboard dust. But when I make cakes and things, I've got like a really small hand mixer thing, which is really easy to use and doesn't create much washing up. So I never use this big one, so I'm going to donate it. I don't use that smoothie maker thingy, I don't use that basket. So I'm just going to wipe it all over, make sure it's had a good clean, because, you know, you want to donate things clean and ready for sale, don't you? Not that they were like dirty, but, you know, just cupboard dust. And likewise for the stuff on top of the fridge. Now, why am I on a decluttering mission? Well, it's nice to declutter anyway, isn't it? We do like having like clear surfaces and things. I'm really glad to be able to donate things, but also, as you know, we are moving house soon. We are doing a full home renovation project and sort of doing a full start to finish on our new house. And I just really don't want to take anything that we don't use all the time. The house is slightly smaller than the one we're in now. And I feel like if it's cluttered, it's going to feel small. If it's been decluttered and it's got really good storage and organisation, which it is, it's got lots of good storage. So check out that home renovation series if you haven't seen it yet. I'll link that below, but obviously after you finish watching this. But yeah, check that out and keep up with us over there, because I've got so many really sort of good organisation bits that I'm going to be doing to sort of make use of the space. But one of the main things I really want to do is make sure we're not taking clutter. So I'm just going to wash up all these bits. Some of these bits I am going to keep, like my husband's coffee mugs and stuff. They're staying, but I'm just going to rinse them off. But the coffee machine is going, that's being donated. So now it's time to take the bedding out of the machine and take the drying out of the dryer. And then I can get the bedding put into the dryer so that that can, well, you know, dry as it does in the dryer. Don't forget to empty the fluff, people. It's so easy to do, but apparently it's a health hazard. No, not even a health hazard, a fire hazard if you don't empty that fluff filter, so please do it. Now I'm going to stick on a load of sanitizable things that need sanitizing. So it's the one nappy a night that Zara wears. She's still in cloth nappies. I'm using Fairy because it's a powder, which is better for cloth nappies, cloth, other things. I'm using some Unstoppables for some nice whiffy smell, and obviously that scoop of Mio Fresh that we saw as well, which is a sanitizer. So everything in there will be sanitized. I'm just putting some Zoflora in the bottom of the nappy bucket. I've got a nappy bucket downstairs that I pretty much use just for cleaning cloths, and then I've got one upstairs that Zara's nappies go in, one a night. And then all that stuff gets washed hot, gets washed with extra rinses, and it gets washed with a sanitizer. Now I'm putting away all the stuff I took out of the dryer into the boxes that belong to the various people, and then when the boxes are full, they get given to the people that they belong to, and yes, those people are asked to put away their own things, even the little ones. Now the little ones can't do it all by themselves, otherwise they'd make a right mess of it, but they are encouraged to help whoever is doing it with them as opposed to for them. So I'm now emptying the children's stuff out. I do take them upstairs in these kind of more plasticky, harder wearing baskets rather than in those IKEA Drona boxes, which are made of fabric, just because they get less battered that way. Now all these baskets are going upstairs, like I said, and they're going to the relevant children's rooms to be put away. Now I've managed to gather quite a lot of bits and pieces together to donate, and I'm just trying to sort them into boxes. I've been keeping boxes from deliveries that I've had in order to donate stuff. Luckily, those plastic boxes that I bought to sort the children's keepsake stuff into came in absolutely massive boxes. So I've just kept those cardboard boxes that the other boxes came in to put all my donation stuff in. Because if you are donating things, chances are you will have to find some boxes to put stuff in to get it donated. So I'm going through these books, anything that's obviously got sort of sentimental value. I think I was just flicking through some sort of baby book with, you know, one of the children's photos and things in. Obviously that's staying, but all this other stuff is going. You know, I've got an A to Z family health encyclopedia from 10-15 years ago. All that information now is probably A, slightly out of date, and B, I can find quicker online anyway. I literally have not opened that book in years and years and years. So, you know, if these books have not been looked at and yet a charity can get some money for them, then they are better off going. Next, I'm going to tackle Under the Stairs, which is like the Under the Stairs of Doom, where all the stuff that needs to be sorted goes to die. So I'm going to pull it all out. Just, don't judge me, look at all the mess under there. I've got a suitcase under there because we don't have like a standard attic in our house, because obviously the attic is rooms, so we don't have anywhere to hide things like suitcases. So I'm just going to vacuum all the disgusting amount of dust that I've shamefully found under there before putting the suitcase back, because I guess we still need a suitcase. There's a carrier bag there. Those are for clothes. They're actually going to be donated to, not to the Welsh Air Ambulance, but there is a clothes bank in the children's school to raise money for the school. So that stuff's going there, as opposed to for the Welsh Air Ambulance. Those giant towel things that you see, like maternity pad towels, I use to put in carrier bags in the bottom of Zara's travel potty. So I'm keeping those for when she needs an emergency wee in the boot of my car at the side of a road. So I'm now taking these boxes up. These have been emptied with all the stuff that I have decluttered and sorted ready for donation into them, and they have gone back in their like little homes in the attic, and they will actually be moving over to our new house. I just don't want to leave them by the front door for too long. They will be forming the insides of the wardrobe in our new house. I'm now going to anti-bac and wash the potties and things that I'm donating, because my children, you know, don't need potties anymore. We are beyond that stage, and I'm using as a cloth one of the old, you can see that grey thing in my hand, was the reusable colour catcher thing. Now they only last 30 washes as a colour catcher, but then they can live on as a cleaning cloth. So I do feel that's sort of a little bit more, I don't know, useful, environmentally friendly. It's all, you know, Bob the Builder says, isn't it? Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's my reusing of it as opposed to recycling, but you know, you can never have enough cleaning cloths. Anyway, I am wiping all these over. I've used a bit of anti-bac on there, and then when they have dried by the morning, then they can go in with the donations as well. Now it's almost time for dinner. Where is the day going? So I'm going to grate some cheese to go with the fajitas. We do like a bit of cheese with the fajitas. I think the children like it because it cools down their food a little bit. I also like giving them extra cheese with meals when I can for extra boost of calcium, because they're not too fussed on drinking milk. They do have milk with their cereal, they have yogurts, but since I stopped breastfeeding all of them, which was obviously a while ago now, they just never were that fussed on drinking milk. So I'm going to dish out some of the fajita stuff from the slow cooker and pop it all on the table. This is a meal that everyone will eat, which is quite nice. Now it's after dinner, and I do what I'm always doing on the weekends, which is making sure I've prepped the uniform for the week. So this isn't just making sure the uniform is in the wardrobes, but making sure I've set out things for each day. Now the boys do this for themselves, but the girls, this is just a little bit complicated. I normally get them to sort of notionally join in and help, but you know, ultimately I've got to do this organising myself. Now in those little packets, which I shall link below, I put in their vest, knickers, their hair accessories and their tights or socks, and then that little packet gets hung over the hanger that they need to wear for that day. So I do 5 of those for the week, and that means all I've got to do is grab one of those the night before, put it out for them, and in fact in the next house I'm going to make sure that their uniform hanging rail is low enough that I don't even have to put it out the night before. They can just grab one from the wardrobe. But on the weekend I make sure I've got 5 of those all done, and then there is no stressing the night before, there's no stressing in the morning, Mummy, I can't find my hairband, I can't find my tights, we don't have any of that. We used to have that, we do not have that anymore because we organise it all on the weekends. So it takes me a few minutes to do on the weekends, but honestly it is a lifesaver. And yes, I have to have 5 of everything, but so much of my uniform is just kind of bought from supermarkets and things. It's not expensive and it lasts and lasts and lasts, especially when I buy for Bella. It's still, you know, it's still like new for Zara, so I do find that that's like quite good value. And the amount of time, and not just time but headspace that it saves me, if it takes away the stress, I'd say that's money well spent having 5 of everything. So I'm just hanging these little packets now. I've done Zara's, I'm now doing Bella's. I already had the uniform together. I'm just hanging the packets onto each day's worth of uniform, and then all of that is going in her wardrobe. Now it's almost time to get everyone off to bed, and then I can get on with doing some work. I have changed into my kind of comfy yoga pants and snuggly jumper, which I like to wear in the evenings. I'm just wiping off my makeup with a cheeky wipe and some water, and then I'm going to put on a bit of moisturiser so my skin doesn't feel like it's flaking off, and then I'm going to bath the children with a little bit of Child's Farm, which I find is good for their sensitive skin. And when bath time is done and bedtime is done, I go and do some work. So this evening I'm going to edit the video that you're watching right now. How weird is that?
Thank you so much for watching. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we post more videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday at 7 PM. If you want to watch my latest video, it's just over here, and another video that you may like from my channel is down here. It's not, it's down there. I'll see you soon. Bye!